anything like that. No good. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go in the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk sports and other stuff, like New Year. Speaking of which, why was the dummy cooking breakfast at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st? Anyone? I don't know. He wanted to make New Year's toast. I still got it, boys. That's right. I still got the goods, jerks. I'm Roy Harder, the musical director of the show. And here's your host, Mr. Eastside David McDonald, everybody. There he is.
Yeah, thank you, Roy. But the reason why I'm not just jumping in all happily, I had prepared to jump in happily on our very first show of 2026. Did you call us jerks?
Yeah, I might have. Yeah, probably. Jerks. My homeboys. Yeah, it's a term of endearment, David. That's what they say.
Plus 5 points for you. Plus 5 points for that term of endearment.
Thanks,
we are
buddy.
starting out the Davey Mac Sports Program in 2026. We are starting out on a positive note. I am going to do my best to be positive in 2026 because everything is happening right now. We are all on an upswing. It's the Davey Mac Sports Program on January 5th, 2026. Robert Tamburo, your producer. Roy Harder, your musical director. Eastside Dave McDonald, your host. And we have a lot of stuff to be happy about. But first, breaking news, the Giants are retaining their inept general manager, Joe Schoen. So remember those comments at the beginning of the show about me being happy? Well, fuck that. Fuck that straight in the ass, ladies and gentlemen. Because this nightmare, this prolonged nightmare of the New York Football Giants organization is now, it's beyond baffling. It's a straight up psychedelic, psychological CIA experiment gone wrong. Okay? This is equivalent to you might as well give me LSD and push me out of the 14th story building in New York City. And then say, oh, Davey Mac, he couldn't take it anymore. He jumped out. He couldn't take being No. Joe Schoen, okay? Joe Schoen, he pushed me out of the window, okay? That's what happened here because this is insane. Joe Schoen, who, by the way, it was pointed out that the Giants won in week 17 and 18 this year and last year. So they have I think they're 7 and whatever in the last 2 years, with 4 of those wins being in the last 2 weeks of the season to teams that were tanking. In other words, completely inconsequential games. Games that don't matter. Games that mean nothing. Games that if you win, this is not a sign of the future. The Raiders were tanking. They sit Max Crosby, their best defensive player, their best player, period. Yeah. All-pro defensive lineman for the Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby's so mad about it because all of these players, by the way, have incentives. So if they reach a certain amount of sacks, they get a certain amount of tackles, so on and so forth. They get an extra $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. So the guy's like, listen, I'm healthy. I want to play these last 2 weeks. They go, no. He's like, okay, I'm going to show everyone how healthy I am. He starts posting videos of himself playing basketball, doing all kinds of shit. And so we have a win over the Raiders. Then we play the Cowboys. They're beating us, but they just decide, fuck it. Yeah. We're gonna sit Dak Prescott, our phenomenal starting quarterback, who, by the way, I don't know if he still won the passing yards title. But as of yesterday, going into the game, Dak Prescott was in the lead to get the passing title for most yards in the season. The only one who had a chance was Stafford. By sitting Prescott in the second half, it's possible he lost that title. I don't know. I'm just saying. I would have thought if I'm Dak Prescott, I want to play in that second half. I want to throw for another 150 yards against this inept Giants backfield. Their secondary outside of Phillips is abysmal.
I would have told Ezekiel Elliott, get ready to take a nice long nap because I am slinging this rock.
No, I hear you. And so the Giants, they think that because they won these last 2 games, they're on an upswing, and that's somehow momentum for next season when you're playing against two teams that are completely tanking, giving you the wins so that they improve their draft stock. And I'm sorry, folks, that's it. We've seen enough. The NBA figured this out decades ago. I'm shocked that the NFL hasn't. No more tanking for the number 1 pick. The worst 5 teams in the league go into a lotto. You get the ping pong balls, the worst 5. The NBA does the worst 10. I'm saying, listen, worst 5 here. But the worst 5 go into a lottery. The ping pong balls happen, so on and so forth. Because this tanking's gotten out of control. Robert.
I think you should take it a step further. Instead of a lottery system, take those 5 teams, maybe expand it to make the math a little easier, but have them play their own little tournament. You would tune in to watch the Giants play.
Because they'll only lose on purpose. This is why it sucks.
No. I'm saying at the end of the season, you have the playoffs for the teams who make it. The teams who don't make the playoffs have their own playoffs. The winner of that gets the first pick because it's like you were the closest.
I can't. No. Please, Robert. I mean, it's an interesting idea. I'll give you
complicated.
minus 5 points.
Minus 5? I gave you $1 billion idea, and I get minus 5 points?
It was interesting, but it was horrible. I can't be watching while I'm trying to watch the NFL playoffs, the loser NFL playoffs at the same time.
Yeah. They should wear like
college football. The fucking Pop-Tart Bowl isn't the loser's bowl.
Don't. We're getting too tangential. This is about the New York Football Giants. The bottom line is, look, I saw John Mara after the game yesterday. They gave him the game ball. The guy's battling cancer. The Giants owner is battling cancer. And I'll be honest, he's a thin-looking guy usually, and he had that very disturbing – he's taken some sort of drugs that are making him incredibly puffy and bizarre-looking. Remember latter-day Jerry Lewis when he was trying to do those marathons at the end of his life, the Labor Day? And he's like, I'm Jerry Lewis. Hey, everybody. It's the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon. Donate all your money. We have to help the kids with cystic fibrosis. And he was just way fat and cartoonish. And it was like, this is disturbing. It sort of looked like Jerry Lewis was wearing a Jerry Lewis fat suit. Yeah, that's him. And that's not even at his worst. He's not so bad right there.
Yeah, he got pretty bad. I remember that day.
But Joe Schoen, John Mara, the Giants owner, has gotten that deformed look, and it's scary. Look, I'm a human being. I'm an Irish Catholic like the Maras, all right? I wish John Mara recovers. I mean it. I don't want anyone to get cancer. I'm a Giants fan, for Christ's sakes. Plus, my stomach hasn't felt very well. I've been shitting a lot, and I don't want to go to the doctor.
Could be cancer.
Well, thanks a lot, Roy.
Oh, I'm just saying, I don't. It could be. I'm not saying it is. Now, if I was a heartless bastard, I would say, you've got cancer, David. but because I'm a genteel soul, I said it could be cancer.
Right? The way Roy said you've got cancer, it sounded like a Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movie.
Yeah.
Like the dark version. You've got cancer. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan star in a movie where they're both cancer patients dying and they fall in love.
I wrote a song for you, David, probably about 6 months ago called I Cause Cancer, and I had every intention of having you sing it. But then I was looking over the lyrics and I'm like, man, this is really, really dark. I don't even know if I should even present this to Dave. But now I'm thinking, I think I'm going to present it to you, Dave.
But you absolutely present it. And by the way, Roy.
Yeah.
we can twist. See, this is why you always come. You never shelve your ideas. You come to the idea, man. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Why don't we twist it to Pat McAfee causes cancer?
We could definitely do that. But
All right. Put in a verse that Pat McAfee is the one who killed Lee Corso, who's actually still alive, but like we got a song here, Roy. We got to twist it into a McAfee direction. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, because I got it in here, and it's a great hook, buddy. I'm just letting you know.
Brother, twist it to the McAfee, and we got our third hit single after Fuck Tom Brady and Fire That Ferret, Brian Cashman. 2 hit songs that we've done in our 15-year career. Does any other sports show do that? The answer is no. But back to the Giants. John Mara, I don't. You know what? John Mara actually seems like a nice person. He does. The issue with John Mara is that he's weak. And I don't mean physically with the cancer. I mean, when we played that clip last year, before the season began, of John Mara and Joe Schoen in Shane's office on HBO Hard Knocks, and John Mara saying, man, Saquon Barkley is the most popular player we've had in years. If you let him go to the Eagles, I won't be able to sleep at night. And Joe Schoen, smug and stupid, goes, hey, I'm hearing the Eagles are out and that the Bears are in. When like, hey, doofus, the Giants should be in. You should be retaining the best player on your team. Not taking Saquon's $45 million for 3 years, which is all it would have taken to re-sign Saquon 2 years ago, and instead they give it to Dropius Slayton. Oh, sorry. His name is Darius, but the guy can't catch a fucking first down or touchdown to save his life. He's dropped every big throw that he's ever had, which is why henceforth he's Dropius Slayton. And John Mara tells that to Joe Schoen. And Joe Schoen's like, all that. The Giants, listen, championships live forever, folks. The Giants are responsible for giving their biggest rival, just an hour 15 south on the New Jersey Turnpike. So, biggest rival on the football field, biggest rival geographically. And the Giants hand them their best player and thus get the Eagles their second Super Bowl. The Giants handed the Eagles their second Super Bowl. That's what Joe Schoen did. Oh, but he also let Xavier McKinney walk. Xavier McKinney has had a phenomenal tenure there with the Packers. He lets Love go. Love's been awesome for the Seahawks. I mean, Joe Schoen might be the worst talent evaluator of all time. And it's what you get with these modern day analytics dorks who do not watch the football in front of them, but rather go to their little computer screen, find out some imaginary value that these players have that corresponds with their economic value and their football value and all that bullshit, and judge where the market is, and that's your offer. That is a boring, unoriginal, antiquated way to run your football team. You know what's a really simple fucking way that's easy to understand for you and me? Watch the goddamn games. The best players say, I want him on my fucking team as a free agent, or I'm going to draft this kid. He's awesome. Shane don't have it, folks. He don't have it. He does not know how to understand talent evaluation. So we're going to let this guy now be in charge of the draft and the next head coaching search? This is beyond fucked up. And I'm sorry, Giants. I planned on starting this show attacking ESPN, one of the happiest, most fun things I can do. I find ESPN to be so evil that it's like attacking Satan. So I wanted to start the show in that direction. We'll get to how evil ESPN is in a moment. But I was not expecting this breaking news. I was expecting Giants will relieve Joe Schoen of their duties today, not keep Joe Schoen with some weak-ass statement. And by the way, I get that John Mara's sick, and he is sick. He looks horrible. But Chris Mara is his brother. Steve Tisch is the co-owner of the team. Hey, you gutless cowards. Call a press conference. Don't release a statement on Twitter. That is cowardly. You guys are, the whole organization is chicken shits. And they let this Joe Schoen, by the way, I wanted Dable fired. Assuming that Dable gets fired, the Giants are going to understand that the guy who chose him needs to get fired too. Because it was obvious last year in year 3 that Brian Dable needed to go. It was completely obvious. Remember we were calling for it last year?
Yeah.
You remember that after the Eagles won their Super Bowl, I said, this is on the Giants. Schoen and Dable need to go. And the Giants did nothing.
They didn't listen to you, David.
And then they come back with the same 2 moronic douchebags in Joe Schoen and Brian Dable. Nothing changes, and one of them goes, it makes no sense.
It'd be like if you had 2 tumors and you only removed one. Just to put it in terms Mara could understand.
No, you. Quite frankly, again, I'm not sticking up for Dable. He needed to be fired, but Dable was probably a little bit better at his job than Schoen was at his job. Dable was getting the best out of Jackson Dart, their rookie quarterback. At least we know he can do one thing right. I don't know if Joe Schoen can do anything right. This is not embarrassing. This is insulting and disrespectful to the fans. You are now just burying your heads in the sand. And it's the same thing that everyone's doing these days. And people are sick and tired of it. It's not just sports. Whether Marvel, Star Wars, WWE, they make horrible, horrible decisions. And then when people rightfully, justifiably complain, they go, oh, it's on the fans. You guys are too negative. It's your fault. It's your fault that you're not enjoying our shitty product. You know what? Joe Schoen, John Mara, and the Giants organization, you're on the Shizer list.
Shizer! You're the one that we despise!
Roy, tell him what Shizer means, please.
Well, David, Shizer means shit in German, so they are on our shit list.
Now hit the stinger again, buddy.
Shizer! You're the one that we despise!
You see that? We despiser you. And you also understand that Roy Harder speaks fluent German, so don't mess with him.
I do, yeah. It's true. Jawohl.
He's a Germany expert, specifically from 1933 to 1945.
A lot of good philosophy and music in that time period.
Philosophy?
Nietzsche?
Mm-hmm.
I understood what he was going for. He's going to say good music, Wagner as well.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Dave, what I feel like when they go from being like, as an organization, we get it, fans, this is our fault, we're working, we're going to deliver you a better product, to this is on you guys for not eating the shit that we're serving you. Like, it becomes personal. And I was thinking maybe there are a couple of ways. Like when I was in high school, there was a basketball coach we didn't like, so we came up with several plans to get him fired. Maybe you could implement this as a fan base on a larger scale to get rid of Schoen.
All right, give me one example.
The first thing you could do, you can go to the dark web, order a shit ton of cocaine, and ship it to the Giant headquarters in Joe Schoen's name. Now, the dark web's great because it's about anonymity, so the only proof they're going to have is his name with that cocaine on it.
Let me just really quickly say the words and opinions of the Davey Mac Sports Program producer, Robert Tamburo, do not reflect the Davey Mac Sports Program itself.
Yeah, you can't buy cocaine online, Bobby.
When
I know
the
that.
FBI investigates you, Robert Tamburo. Now, having said that, Robert, if you are familiar with the dark web,
I am not, to be clear. This is not something I could do, but I feel like the Giants fan base has good technological skills.
I just learned how to work Facebook last week, so I'm not good for dark web.
Okay.
Fair enough. Do you have another plan?
You could go old school, which is always just continue to call the stadium and ask them to quit. Like if all the fans keep calling the Giants organization, it's going to bog up their phone lines.
Listen, they've been doing the what they haven't done since the late 70s, which is people have been buying airplane banners. You know, and in that era, they finally listened and they got Bill Parcells, who went on to win 2 Super Bowls. But so we have other breaking news, which is big. The Cleveland Browns have fired Kevin Stefanski. This is the guy who has won NFL Coach of the Year twice. And in all honesty, really hasn't had a big time quarterback. I guess he had Baker Mayfield, right? He was towards the end of there, but not a big time QB. I mean, Jackson Dart would be the best guy that Stefanski worked with. And we're actually hearing rumor that Stefanski did not get along with the Cleveland front office this year because of how they drafted. And one of those rumors is that Stefanski was extremely high on Jackson Dart, the Giants quarterback. Meaning,
high?
Yeah, right.
High or just kind of like high?
He approved.
Gotcha.
Jackson Dart.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
He wasn't doing drugs.
And I was going to say he'd get along with Joe Schoen real well, from what I've heard.
He wasn't doing, as Flutie called them, titty bumps off of Jackson Dart's nipples.
Titty bumps.
He wasn't literally getting high on Jackson Dart. He was supportive.
Gotcha.
Of the young man.
Thank you for clarifying.
So look, here's my top 4. This is who I want. Mike Tomlin first. We'll talk about it later. The Steelers-Ravens games was totally insane. That was the game of the year. Unbelievable. But let's be honest, though the Steelers end up winning the division 10-7, they're getting the playoffs. I think they're going to get smoked in the first round. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is so weird. It's like the first half, he's the worst quarterback ever. And then the second half, he's vintage Aaron Rodgers. And he keeps doing that now, week in and week out. You'd think in the playoffs, if he has a beautiful first half, that's it. The hole will be too big for him to come back in the second half. So I don't know. But I'm assuming Steelers go out in the first round. I want Mike Tomlin. That is my number one choice because Giants fans be like, you want a guy who goes 10-7 every year? Yes. When you're an organization that goes 3-14 or 4-13 every year, 10-7 sounds delicious. But secondly, people are forgetting for the last decade, Mike Tomlin hasn't had a quarterback, folks. The last 3 years of Ben Roethlisberger, he was horrible. And then after him, they've just had one plug-in quarterback after another who just can't get the job done on a consistent level. Mike Tomlin would be going to a young Giants, a young talented quarterback, running back, and scat. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver. They should be getting a wide receiver, in my opinion, an elite wide receiver with this number 7 pick or whatever now that they've dropped down to. A good defense. Mike Tomlin is the guy for the Giants. Plus the Giants-Steelers connection. Their actual family. The Maras and Rooneys are married. They have kids who are married.
Dynasty.
Somebody called Teddy Roosevelt.
Number 2, Kevin Stefanski. Look, if he wanted Jackson Dart, that makes me very interested in this dude. 2-time coach of the year. And what I see with him is maybe a little bit of a Tom Coughlin scenario where Coughlin was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were expansion team. He got them to the playoffs. He actually got them to the AFC Championship once or maybe even twice, but didn't progress from there, got fired. But then he comes to the Giants as an experienced head coach. He gets the job done. Stefanski's second. Harbaugh third. John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens coach. I think they might move on from him. If that happens and they can't get Tomlin or Stefanski, Harbaugh would be good. And then number 4, and here we go. I know it's controversial, John Gruden. Because Gruden loves himself some Jackson Dart and honestly called everything that was going to happen with Jackson Dart this year. He's like, you have an amazing thrower. You should be running with the football. Don't take on linebackers head on. Stop it already. I'm just saying. But he's number 4. He's the last on my short list. And that's what a short list looks like. I don't want to see an unproven guy be the head coach of the Giants. I don't. We don't need to see any more coordinators here, folks. We need to see a head coach. So I don't care how much success an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator has had somewhere else. I don't trust them. We need a coach with proven success. All three of those guys, I should say, have won a Super Bowl, except for Stefanski, who's at least gotten the Cleveland Browns into the playoffs. And that organization is off the rails. So to get that team into the playoffs, that is an accomplishment. That's what we need. No coordinators, no college coaches. That should be your short list. Tomlin, Stefanski, Harbaugh, controversially, Gruden. There you have it.
I'm not going to make my typical Jim Tressel joke here, but I do have a genuine question. It seems like Pete Carroll may be out with the Raiders. He hits a lot of the categories. Would you be okay with that signing?
No, too old. He's coming off of a really bad year where he looked old. The team looked mismanaged. So the guy's in his 70s.
Yeah, I was just curious because he does have the Super Bowl wins. You know what I mean?
We got Stefanski in his 40s. Tomlin, 50s, right?
Yeah, and he's going to be around a while.
You know, Harbaugh's got to be 50s. Gruden might be in his 60s by now, but seems like a young 60s.
I think, unfortunately, with the luck the Giants have had the past couple of years, Dave, what's going to happen is, you're right, the Steelers are going to part ways with all of their coaching staff, and you're going to get the offensive coordinator that everybody hates from the Steelers that called that terrible play from the 1 yard. That's who you're going to end up with.
This is going to be horrible unless one of those four guys gets chosen. And really, Tomlin or Stefanski excite me the most. Harbaugh does check the boxes. Consistent winner, gets the team in the playoffs, and has won a Super Bowl. And like I said, I know Gruden would be controversial. I'm not stupid. He's a wild card, but it could work. But I take all four of those guys over your absolute best college coach, your best offensive coordinator, your best defensive coordinator. I don't want them. And I got to also say, take one shot at Carl Banks, a beloved New York Football Giants linebacker, number 58. I loved him. He's now had a very successful radio career as the Giants color commentator. I said color commentator, Roy.
I caught that.
I caught that too, David, but I didn't say anything.
Okay, no. I just wanted analyst. Carl Banks is your analyst on the radio side. He does a great job. He actually was sticking up for Darius Slayton, saying he's good. Carl.
What does a color commentator? What does that mean exactly?
You got the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Joe Montana back to throw.
Technical.
By Jerry. And then you got the color commentary, the John Madden. Unbelievable. Bam. Look at the hot dogs in the stands. Or whatever
gotcha, David. Makes perfect sense.
I thought the way you and Roy should market yourselves is for teams that are getting blown out and that nobody wants to watch the game anymore. We could make Roy the play-by-play and Dave the color commentary to keep things going on, and people will be like, "This is at least entertaining."
Yeah, you could not have Roy's play-by-play.
That's why it'd be hilarious.
No, it would descend about 2 minutes into it. It would descend into actually this is horrible because it's making. See, there's always that fine line, Robert. You have to understand between when you make such little sense, it stops being funny. I'm just giving you a little tip.
That's that line I've never seen, Dave, unfortunately.
That's true.
That's a problem for me.
That's sad. Yeah. You're a hysterical guy. Sometimes you overthink something. Do you ever hear Roy and I doing wrestling when I'm play-by-play and Roy's color commentary? It's hysterical.
It's literally the best all around.
Yeah. It's on the YouTube, Eastside Dave TV. If you check out, I have a whole playlist of Eastside Dave and wrestling, and I include all of the IWF matches. And Roy and I actually sat down and did commentary for a bunch of those matches. So go find those out. They're absolutely fantastic. But anyway,
I never knew that I was the color commentator. I always thought I was a play-by-play guy. There you go.
Well, I didn't want to call you color commentary because I thought you might get upset thinking that was me calling you an African American.
Roy starts ending all the calls with Izzle. What a slam Izzle for Rizzle.
Yeah. So for multiple reasons, it was just wise to just be like, here's Roy, the guy sitting next to me. But look, Giants, you're going to not listen to the fan. I can't believe what I'm dealing with. Like, I seriously sometimes think they're like the Giants and the Yankees are the same exact nightmare occurring simultaneously with two sons of owners in John Mara and Hal Steinbrenner, who were sons of Wellington Mara and George Steinbrenner, who are just pale imitations of their fathers, who don't care about winning the way they say they do. They just don't. They just don't. Sorry. And then two general managers who are stat nerds who just don't watch baseball and football respectively, and Brian Cashman and Joe Schoen, and they just go by the numbers, and it never works. It never works. Meanwhile, the LA Dodgers are going to have a three-peat because they do what the Yankees used to do. You know what the Yankees used to do? Who's the best free agent? Okay, let's get him. That's it. And the Dodgers, they're talking about the Dodgers going after Kyle Tucker. But listen, I'm going to stay focused here. Giant, you know what, Roy? I'm going to move on from the Giants.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
I want one final entry for the New York Football Giants and for Joe Schoen specifically. Forever, you are on the Shizer list.
Shizer! You're the ones that we despise!
Can't do it, Roy. I won't do it. Can't stop, won't stop, Daddy.
That's it.
Now, ESPN. You know
here
what?
we go.
No, yeah, let's do ESPN first. I was going to say we have a little visitor, so I'm going to plug that, and I'm going to plug him, and I'm going to promote him. But he's not coming on now. He'll be coming on after the ESPN discussion because he apparently has a few things to say about ESPN. So let's get to it. New Year's Eve, I'm watching SportsCenter with my kid. Now, thankfully, Stanley Mack is 16. Let me just say that I have been watching SportsCenter with Stanley Mack since he's 3.
Yeah.
Something we do together. So all that time, I mean, until he was, I don't know when, and you know what? I'm not saying anything. Santa Claus is real, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, if there are kids watching, there's always kids watching. There's always kids watching. There's always kids listening. Now, they shouldn't be watching and listening to this show, but nevertheless, if you are kids, Santa's real. So I want you to disregard what these two assholes on ESPN are about to say. I'm going to remind you first of Ryan Clark only 2 weeks ago on First Take talking about Santa Claus, saying, quote, Santa Claus is fake. Here.
Gotta go.
You guys, no, I want to add something to. We're talking about Philadelphia here, though. This isn't Buffalo. This isn't Kansas City. Like, this is a town that they like to do. They
and that's what makes them great.
They boo Santa Claus. That's what makes them great. Okay, they're gonna do things like this.
Santa Claus is fake. Jalen Herbstreit.
There might be kids watching this show. You need to be quiet.
It should be at school too.
Okay. All right, we'll leave this there now. Coming up, very telling.
Time out. By the way, that's my lovely lady, Shay Cornett, who is doing a fantastic job at First Take and doing a fantastic job, apparently, at Ebonics with that whole, there might be kids watching. You have no idea what you're about to say. I felt like if she put on a luchador mask, she could be the Mistress Rider.
Oh, God, that would be a fun radio show.
There might be kids watching to the bottom of the canyons and to the top of the mountains. You never know. I got one more silver dollar, Ryan Clark. So Ryan Clark, I mean, look, we all know that Ryan Clark is a complete and utter douchebag. I actually like this next guy. His name is PK Subban. He is a hockey analyst for ESPN, and I'm rather a fan of him. Because last year, he was talking about the NBA load management. I think we might have played the clip of PK Subban on this show. And we were talking about how he was right about these NBA players taking 2-3 games off for no reason whatsoever, except for load management. It's a long season. Well, no one remembers Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, Julius Erving, on and on and on. No one remembers those guys doing load management. They played 82-game seasons. So what is this? Nevertheless, I like PK Subban, but here's PK Subban on SportsCenter at 11 o'clock in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning on either a Saturday or Sunday. So Sunday, because it was right before the NFL countdown at 10 a.m. So there's 9 a.m. SportsCenter on Sunday. Kids are watching SportsCenter, jerks. Okay, Disney, you're the ones who own ESPN. Aren't you supposed to be a family-friendly company? Disney. Well, here's what PK Subban said just 2 weeks after Ryan Clark said Santa Claus is fake.
All right, we have some news. Team USA releasing its Olympic roster, which did not include Jason Robertson, who leads all U.S. players in points this season. What do you make of that decision?
Well, Jason Robinson's upset. I mean, it's like when you get older, and you discover that Santa's not real. It's make-believe. It's the same thing for him. You're not going to the Olympics. No, listen, and maybe he deserves to be there, but he's not going. And, listen, for him right now, there's going to be a lot of disappointment. But, I heard the Rangers talk.
Santa Claus is not real.
Well, I'm glad he didn't. I didn't go off on the Easter Bunny because that would have really broken my heart, buddy.
What is wrong?
He's got a low IQ. He's a fucking moron. He's a dummy. He's a dummy.
It's actually, this one really pissed me off because I would have thought after the Ryan, look, folks, I work in radio or I work in broadcasting to this day, okay? Whether it's digital, whether it's radio, whether it's television, there's always kids watching and listening. It's not cool to do that Santa Claus is fake bullshit because that will absolutely ruin some 8-year-old or 9-year-old's Christmas. And then the parents have to have this discussion. They're like, why am I having to do this because my kid was watching SportsCenter on a Sunday morning? I would have thought after Ryan Clark made this mistake, someone at Disney
would have called
ESPN and said the next dumb imbecile who says Santa Claus is fake gets fired.
Yeah.
Instantly. Like the Apollo, they should have gotten the big hook for PK Subban and literally hooked him off the stage, dragged him off the stage with the giant hook on live television because there is no excuse for this to happen now twice on ESPN in the last 2 weeks.
He's got some beef. He's got a beef with Santa Claus, clearly.
I think they both do. And I think it comes down to look at what he's wearing. He clearly asked Santa for a suit that fit right and a tie and did not get one. So now he's out here bashing Santa because he makes poor fashion choices.
Both PK Subban and Ryan Clark should have been reprimanded. Should have been suspended. I mean, actually, Ryan Clark should have been reprimanded, suspended. He should have been fired a long, long time ago. The guy is a total tool. Yeah. He is the poster boy for someone who thinks they're deep and smart and are actually shallow and dumb. As for PK Subban, who I was sticking up for last year because he was shitting all over the NBA players and defending the NHL players, saying, look, they never take load management off, and it's a harder sport. You get into fights and shit in hockey. But for PK Subban now to go in this direction, I have a question. Is Disney trying to kill Christmas? The Alex Jones side of me would say, well, maybe this is Disney finally actually trying to declare war on Christianity.
Yeah, it could very well be the case.
I'm not even going in that direction officially. I'm just saying it's bizarre that this has happened twice on Disney. Shame on you.
Shame on
you. Absolute cunts. As for Kirk Herbstreit and Paul Finebaum, these two ignorant, arrogant, dishonest liars. All we heard from both of these guys is how awesome Alabama is, how Alabama needs to be over everybody, and how the SEC is just so good. The SEC might as well be NFL Part 2, at least according to Paul Finebaum and Kirk Herbstreit. It's all about the SEC and your Alabamas and your Georgias and your LSUs, except for the fact that the SEC hasn't won the last 2 national championships. The Big Ten has. The SEC, ladies and gentlemen, this year in the bowl games, 4-9. Wait a second. I thought the SEC's the best conference in football. They're 4-9 and 3-4 in the CFP. But 4-9 overall bowl record in 2025/6. Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, Alabama goes out and gets smoked by Indiana, 38-3. That's the team that should have been over Notre Dame, Paul Finebaum. You dishonest cunt. And then Kirk Herbstreit goes on Twitter acting like we're stupid, going, well, you know what? Alabama clearly wasn't as good as we thought they were, and the SEC might have had a bit of a down year. Gee whiz, you think, Kirk? How about this? The SEC's been completely overblown and overrated for 3 straight fucking years. It needs to stop. I got Kirk Herbstreit and Paul Finebaum going on ESPN now being like, yeah, I mean, Alabama should fire Caleb DeBoer. He just hasn't gotten the job done. Well, then why should they have been chosen over Notre Dame? Or even more specifically, why were they ranked? How did they jump over Notre Dame in the rankings in the last game of the year? When Notre Dame goes out and beats Notre Dame goes out and beats Stanford 49-20, and Alabama barely gets past Auburn 27-20. And then Alabama gets killed by Georgia in the SEC Conference Championship 28-7. And the touchdown came in garbage time. Anyone who watched that game knew it was over. So Alabama ends their pathetic, awful, overrated season with 3 losses. A shitty performance against a 5-7 Auburn team at the end, and then they get smoked by Georgia in the SEC championship. Are we kidding? Alabama, ladies and gentlemen, is overrated. They are no longer an elite program under Caleb DeBoer. The Nick Saban days are over. I'm a Yankee fan. I know that the Joe Torre days ended a long, long time ago. Sometimes your glory years are gone. And for Paul Finebaum and Kirk Herbstreit to constantly be pushing SEC and Alabama over, and forget about Notre Dame, Alabama over Texas, Alabama over BYU, Texas, and Notre Dame were all better than Alabama. This whole thing is a sham. And how does this happen? This is how it happens. ESPN is partnered with the SEC and the ACC. So they let their propagandists like Paul Finebaum and Kirk Herbstreit run amok, doing SEC propaganda any chance they get on the air. And then when the SEC absolutely collapses and embarrasses themselves and goes 4-9 in the bowl season this year, they try to distance themselves and be like, well, the SEC had a down year, apparently. The SEC is, well, listen, the SEC needs to improve. Well, yeah, Alabama might have to make some changes. This is what all us college football fans were saying before the selection day. It was obvious to anyone who wasn't a dishonest shill for ESPN, the SEC, like Kirk Herbstreit and Paul Finebaum are. And then they try to actually say, oh, yeah, you know what? The SEC might have been overrated. The SEC really let me down. They are doing the classic definition of gaslighting. Here is the definition. Do you want to know? Because I had to look it up. Gaslighting, in my opinion, has become a contemporary buzzword that's overused. So I feel like anytime someone just doesn't want, if someone has a disagreement, the person goes to, don't try to gaslight me. Oh, go fuck off. Go fuck off with your stupid contemporary phrases. But in this one instance, when I looked it up, the word gaslight means manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity, memory, or powers of reason. Holy shit, if they aren't gaslighting all of us college football fans. And before anyone says, hey, blah, blah, blah about Notre Dame, I'm not just talking about Notre Dame. I'm talking about BYU and I'm talking about Texas. It will happen to your team as long as ESPN is in charge of this whole thing. They are completely corrupt. They are completely dirty. Fuck off, Kirk Herbstreit, Paul Finebaum, Progeria Finebaum. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, there he is. There's Progeria Paul. That's his garbage pail kid card. And what was the Kirk Herbstreit one? Because I came up with the names, and I thought they were clever. Jerk Nerd Dweeb. Instead of Kirk Herbstreit, Roy, Jerk Nerdweed.
Jerk Nerd.
You like that one? And I put
I
his little
love
dumb
it.
dog next to him.
That's great.
The one that's alive.
Definitely.
Because that dog is sad that his owner is Jerk Nerdweed. The bottom line is this.
I think you had one more in there, Dave, if you wanted to see him.
Oh, yeah? Let's see. Oh, yeah, Pat Crapafee. Instead of McAfee.
That one's my favorite.
And there's this shit and all around him, Roy. I came up with those names, Roy. You like those?
Those are great names.
Thank you, so as a result, Kirk Herbstreit, Progeria Finebaum, Pat Crapafee, and all of the dirty corruption machine, which is ESPN. Seriously, forever. Fuck you. You're on the Shizer list.
Shizer! You're the ones that we despise.
I can't take it. I'm hanging on by a thread.
I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll, Dave, but the term gaslighting actually comes from a play by Virginia Woolf where the man in the play like manipulates the level of the lights and convinces his girlfriend she's crazy. That's where they take the term from. But Virginia Woolf also killed herself. So maybe she wasn't the most mentally stable. Maybe the lights actually were just flickering.
All I know is the word gaslighting has been used on me twice, and it was complete bullshit because I go, what I'm doing is calling you a fucking bitch to your face. I believe that's the exact opposite of gaslighting. I think that's me being blunt and awful, but not there's no psychological, there's no tricking, there's no manipulating. I'll be like, you're a goddamn cunt.
This isn't gaslighting.
Oh, and by the way, these aren't necessarily women that I'm talking to.
Oh, no?
Again, I'm Irish. We use bitch and cunt.
It was me
men.
for at least one of the conversations.
Yeah, you can't be blunt and direct and be a gaslighter. I think that based on the definition I just read. So
Yeah.
that is why I have an issue with some of these contemporary buzzwords is because people just start using them. And it's like, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
And I'd say 95% of the time, people who use the term gaslighting should act like Virginia Woolf.
Give yourself 1.5 points. We're not encouraging suicide.
Yes.
We're not encouraging suicide, though.
No.
But you were, Robert.
No, I was encouraging people to stop using the phrase gaslighting. Or there is an alternative if you hate it, but I would recommend just stop using it.
He's gaslighting you right now, David.
Words and opinions of Robert Tabarro do not reflect the words and opinions of the Davey Mac Sports Program.
We might have to just start when we go from the intro to a graphic that says that.
Okay, now it's time to talk to our little friend from outer space who has some thoughts and opinions about... There he is. Sports Robot wants to come in here and talk about ESPN. And by the way, similar to Bobby Tamburo, the thoughts and opinions of Sports Robot absolutely do not reflect the Davey Mac Sports Program.
Just some of them.
Well, this is a droid who has a little bit of shock jock in him, and I'm just going to say, I do not approve. Okay. Having said that, where is he? Is he here? All right. Hi, Sports Robot. How are you? Oh. Wait a second. Sports Robot. It's 2026. Happy New Year. He says it would only be a Happy New Year if 2025 was my last year on Earth. Okay, that's not nice. It's not what we're here for. So what do you think of ESPN, Sports Robot? He says he wouldn't be surprised if Paul Finebaum made his football picks on Epstein Island. That guy is creepier than Pennywise. That's a little much. I know you want to talk about ESPN, but what? He says Paul Finebaum's dried feces face is too much for television. The guy looks like an unfunny version of Mr. Hanky. I mean, He does not have a pleasant face. He is rather ugly. But this is, I know, but it's not the direction I wanted. Sports Robot. Speaking of directions, he says, Paul Finebaum's favorite is South. And not because of the college football schools he likes, but because he enjoys going down on Nick Saban. No, this is not. This is the first show of 2026. We didn't want to go. No, it doesn't make sense. Not making sense is what Kirk Herbstreit does. He's so stupid, he thought a quarterback was a refund. Please, Sports Robot. Kirk Herbstreit is so stupid, he once tried to put M&Ms in alphabetical order. I know, please stop this, though. Kirk Herbstreit is so moronic, he thought Boys to Men was a daycare center. Okay, end this bit right now. We have to. Kirk Herbstreit is so idiotic, it takes him 3 hours to watch 60 Minutes. Okay, that's enough. Sports Robot, what? Kirk Herbstreit is a brain dead. He once sold his car for gas money. Sports Robot, everyone. I don't like how he says F you at the end of me. On his way out the door. And he always does. He always throws one last little F you, Dave, and he thinks it's funny.
You hear that?
All right. We got one more. I mean,
funny.
listen, I'm just going to say that Steelers-Ravens game, holy shit. Did you watch it, Robert?
I did. It was.
That was great. And so in the last minute, guy misses an extra point for the Steelers. As a Giants fan, that is what happened multiple times. And then the team would go down and kick a field goal. The second the Steelers guy missed the extra point, I go, Ravens are winning.
Yep.
Because I literally have experienced this as a Giants fan in the Joe Schoen era. I go, Steelers are winning. And by the way, that's another thing about Joe Schoen. 4 years, we've had kicking issues. For 4 seasons, we've had kicking issues. Nevertheless, the Ravens get the ball. My God, Lamar Jackson hits some incredible throws. Just insane. That the one throw, fourth down with 20 seconds in the game. Just practically just throwing it out there, winging a prayer. Guy comes down with the football. They have a chance to kick the game-winning football, a kick. I think it was a 39-yard field goal or around there, maybe 40, 41. But it was not a difficult kick. This is not a kick that was 55 yards in the cold, windy Pittsburgh night. This was a very, very makeable kick, and this kid shanks it. Just good old-fashioned bloop. Thing never had a chance. The other kicker, he shanked it a little bit, but at least it started in the middle and then went right. This one just went right from the very beginning. A horrible kick that should have been made, and as a result, the Steelers win the game. They improved to 10-7. The Ravens dropped to 8-9. They're not in the playoffs, which is insane. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, not in the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are. It's crazy. Did you watch that game, Robert?
I did. I feel so thankful. I mean, you feel terrible when a kicker misses a field goal to lose a game. You know what I mean? But that's what they sign up for. But I do feel good for Rodgers. Like the fact that he drove them down to the 1 yard line with 1 second to play before halftime, and they called a stupid outside trick play.
What was that? Why wouldn't you tush push there? Why are the Eagles the only team that are tush pushing? They were right there. And by the way, the Steelers running back was on fire last night. That little bowling ball of a running back reminded me of Franco Harris. He was just powering through everybody.
Absolutely. I think the reason the Eagles do it more than anybody is because Jalen Hurts can squat like 700 pounds. So you've got that driving force from him that a lot of the other teams don't have.
They actually said the same thing about that running back. See, to me, I don't know why more teams forget about the quarterback. I don't know why teams aren't putting the running back like a Saquon or this dude directly under the center, not in shotgun, but directly under the center and letting the tough running back get that 1 yard and push him and hit him in the back. You're going to convert that every time. I don't know why teams aren't doing it, but to pitch it out where there were 3 Baltimore Ravens waiting for him, I mean, that was as bad as like the McAfee fake punt play.
It was terrible. And you're sitting there going, oh boy, here's where it all falls apart for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like this is one. And then when they missed the extra point, I went, it's over. Like it was a good run for him.
Done.
But, you know, they lucked in. And sometimes with a veteran quarterback like that, that's that little bit of luck to get you in the playoffs is enough to ride some momentum. I know we think they're going to go out and get killed, but I think of the quarterbacks currently in the NFL playoffs, Rodgers, when he's playing in the second half this season, is as good as any of them. If he could put a whole game together, that's a scary, scary guy.
It'll be interesting to see. The Giants fan in me is actively rooting for them to fail, so that only because I want Mike Tomlin on the Giants. He's my number 1 pick as a head coach. Simple as that. The man in you.
The man. Kind of.
The man in me. I will say, the man in me was rooting for the Steelers.
Right? Just that guy. They all said he was washed up. He couldn't do it anymore. He was a shell of his former self.
I could give a shit about Aaron Rodgers. I was more about for Mike Tomlin.
Oh, well, I'm telling you as a man, for me, it's about Aaron Rodgers. Okay. You know, everybody said he was washed. Everybody said it was over. And there's something like I was really hoping the Colts would sneak in and Phillip Rivers could make a little, you know what I mean? One of those guys who everybody's
fair enough.
It's over.
No, it's crazy. The NFL, now we go right into the playoffs a week from today. We're going to be discussing some playoff games that happened over next weekend. So that's very exciting. So I'm going to end with one final thing here. There is an Eagles Twitter video where the Eagles, just a bizarre fan base, the Philadelphia fan base. You know, here's what I'm going to say. It's great that the Philadelphia fan base has a lot of passion. I love it. But you don't always have to embrace being such a scumbag either. There's a fine line between, you know, we're hardcore and we're passionate and we're just a bunch of immoral cunts. Because here's after the game and you get 2 Eagles fighting. It's why I never take my kids to football anymore. You can't do it. It's horrible. I'm going to a Knicks game, by the way, in 2 weeks with my kids, Madison Square Garden.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
I didn't buy the tickets. They did for Christmas.
Oh my God.
Oh, amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
They do little work and errands and shit like this. And they go, Daddy Mac, we're going to the Knicks with the daughter and the son. I go, excuse me? To borrow a Wayne's World phrase, we're going to this game. Knicks versus Nets in 2 weeks. I'll give you guys a recap on the Davey Mac Sports Program. But anyway, here is the Eagles fight. But I do want you to pay attention as much to the guy wearing the A.J. Brown jersey as to the fight itself. Because I'm not going to lie. I wrote underneath the tweet, my replies have been killing it lately. I've been replying more on Twitter. And my replies have just been through the roof, either pure anger or pure comedy. But this was more of a pure comedy that's gotten, as of now, 23 likes. Because I said that the guy in the A.J. Brown jersey, number 19, I believe, 18 or 19, but A.J. Brown jersey, I called him John Popper. I am telling you, look at the guy number 11, A.J. Brown.
For those who don't know, John Popper is the harmonica player, lead singer of Blues Track.
Exactly. Look when 11 gets closer to the camera and his face will turn to the camera. These guys are throwing haymakers. The punches look terrible. Here he is. There's the guy. Look at him turn, Roy.
Oh, yeah.
Roy, did you see his face?
Yeah, that's John Popper.
Dude. Robert, can you freeze it when he turns around?
Yep, that's what I'm trying to find.
Here he goes, right there. Guys, I'm sorry. John Popper has a kid, and he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you watched the video, there was like one guy, I think he was friends with one of the guys in the fight who wanted to get involved. And this guy with the Philly, accent, he's probably related to the Bam Margera clan or something. He was just like, nah, let him fight it out one-on-one. Let him fight it out one-on-one. Come on. Let him fight it out one-on-one. Because he was like going up to some dude. He's like, come on now, back off.
Which is actually, if we're evaluating the Philly fan base as a whole, is a classier move than you would expect out of the Philly fan base.
I'm not saying I'm against John Popper. I'm pro A.J. Brown fan John Popper Jr. I really am. JPJ. I'd like to identify him officially, not for a doxing scenario, but just to see if he is indeed the son of, as Roy said, Blues Traveler frontman John Popper. And most specifically, I just want to make sure this fan doesn't give me the runaround.
I see what you did there, David. I like that one.
And then they had a secondary hit, Roy. I don't remember it. It was a slower song. Remember?
Oh yes.
Like the weight brings you down. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I couldn't even.
Yeah, it was something about the brings.
I used to see John
down.
Popper in New York City all the time. I would run into him at like the most in Penn Station. Like, just
I heard he lost all the weight.
Not all the way. When I saw him, he was still pretty heavy. So who knows? Maybe I'm seeing this Phillies fan walking around thinking he's John fucking Popper.
John Popper's one of those guys, man, who actually pulled off the big, huge, fat weight. And then I saw him one time on Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And he had said he got the stomach stapling and he didn't look good.
Yeah, he definitely, that's what happened to Pavarotti too. When Pavarotti, who was a very famous opera singer, world renowned, he suddenly went on this like weight thing and suddenly he lost his voice. He said, I don't have the power that I used to have. So next thing you know, I see Pavarotti back on stage. He's back. He's a fat fuck again. He knew that his weight was his voice. So maybe John realized the same thing.
That's wow.
Yeah. True story.
He doesn't. Who's the guy who sings that song that I love, Roy?
Oh, you're thinking of Andre Botticelli. He's a skinny guy, but
he's my favorite.
He's blind. He's not fat. He's blind, David. He has.
I knew that because of The Sopranos. They were drinking wine. The girls, the housewives, were getting loaded, and they're like, "Oh, he's so handsome. He's blind, But that's the greatest opera song of all time. That's the I can't get no satisfaction of opera songs.
Yeah. In order to be a successful opera singer nowadays, David, you have to have some sort of physical affliction, or you have to be a minority. Then you're a star.
What if I'm like a cripple from like the 1800s, and I'm like this? Now, hold on, Roy, I want you to actually judge this a cappella. So just pull back and judge me.
Yeah, go for it.
But I am going to do it as, a cripple from the 1800s.
Okay, I'm going to accompany you.
Full screen real quick.
Tell me that gimmick wouldn't work. Put me in Lincoln Center right now.
It could work, David. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Our first show of the year, a banger, as the kids say. Simple as that. Roy Harder, any plugs from the musical director of the Davey Mac Sports Program?
Yes, but I don't have them on me, so I'm going to talk about them next week because I didn't compile my plugs yet. So
what does Sean O'Barry think of you that I give you an opportunity to promote your two bands, Torpedo and Pearl Jam New York, two extraordinary bands, Torpedo's original and PJNY is their, quite frankly, brilliant Pearl Jam cover band. And Roy is always he's unable.
18th or the 13th at US Brews. I believe we're having a torpedo gig. One of those two dates.
This is what I want to hear.
Yes, one of those two
All right.
dates. There's a torpedo.
Well, how about this? Where can we find Torpedo and where can we find PJNY?
Okay. I'm going to get back to you on both of those. But yeah.
He doesn't know the website.
I'm not the promoter guy. I just play. I'm the player.
Right.
Yeah.
When Tom Cruise goes on goddamn, David Letterman or something, he knows the date of the movie, for Christ's sake.
It's true, and that's why I'm not Tom Cruise, David. I'd be jumping out of helicopters if I was.
I think Roy's doing that cool thing where only like the inner circle knows where his gigs and when the gigs are.
See? Bobby
You know
knows.
what I mean? You have to make it hard to find. Oh,
That's
I
right,
found
Bobby.
out where they were.
You tell him, Bobby. It's all about the exclusivity. Thank you, Bobby.
So it's kind of a Velvet Underground in the Warhol factory type of deal is what you're trying to
I could tell you,
what
but
you're trying to bullshit us with.
I'm trying to gaslight you, David.
Yeah. Exactly. And then Robert.
Unlike Roy, I don't thrive off of exclusivity. I need people to come. Speaking of this, February 6th, I will be at the Laughingstock Comedy Club in Grantville, Pennsylvania. I am headlining the show. It's Bobby Tamburo and friends. So I don't know who the friends will be, but Bobby Tamburo will be there. And if he doesn't, he's going to act like the person who wrote Gaslighting. So come by.
Where is it?
It's basically Harrisburg, Grantville, PA, the Laughingstock Comedy Club. So.
That's
How
amazing,
come we
Bobby.
never do
Congratulations
New Jersey,
on your headlining.
Robert? Like Point Pleasant. There's a place in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I saw Jim Norton there.
Well,
I was invited by Jim Norton, who literally gave me the Henry Hill Goodfellas treatment. When I came in with the lady I was dating at the time, they actually took some table from the back and put it in the front row. But I have to tell you, I didn't want it because it's so awkward to be literally 6 inches from any comedian, including Jim Norton, who's wonderful. But I was like, Ace, going like staring up that.
Right. Yeah.
And B, it was so awkward.
Yeah.
Put me in the back, man.
Absolutely. And the good news is, I feel like if you come to this show, Dave, you could have your pick of wherever you wanted to sit. So that'll be good. And to answer your question about Jersey, it's because it's kind of like the minor leagues. You got to work your way up to get into Jersey. It's a bigger town.
Yeah.
Oh, Jersey so Jersey would be like AAA?
Yeah, I'm in AA now in Harrisburg. AAA would be Jersey.
But
The
I mean,
majors would be New York.
but you also do New York.
Yeah, I feature there. I'm trying to start some headlining stuff too. So
okay, I see your point. I believe you could probably play that place in Point Pleasant and get a decent crowd.
Hell yeah, let's talk to Uncle Vinny.
Is that what it is? I always forget what the name of the place is.
Yeah,
Uncle Vinny's. Yeah,
Uncle Vinny's. Okay,
great guy, great club.
I'll tell you what, good chicken fingers.
Hell yeah,
good chicken. I mean, Norton was great too, for the record. But the chicken fingers, I'm like, damn, this is some good shit. This is some good barbecue, some good honey mustard, yo. All right,
Are you still with the lady?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I didn't know if
That's like 3 or 4 ladies ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, David. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice though. 3 or 4 ladies ago. I like that sound of that, buddy.
All right, look, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We want. Oh, I guess I'll plug Modern Day Man with Aaron Berg and myself. Great show every Friday. YouTube.com/@ModernDayManShow. Of course, Davey Mac Sports Program. We're putting these shows out every single Monday. So keep watching. We want you to share, like, subscribe. Really share the hell out of this show. Getting great traction, and we just want to keep the positive momentum going. Tales from the Satellite, Robert and I, we put out a new episode. It's on the Patreon exclusively. Patreon's where you get the Tales from the Satellite episodes exclusively. And then after a month and a half or so, they wind up on YouTube. But if you want them, along with some bonus content and early releases, please subscribe to patreon.com/EastsideDave. And, $2.50 is the first tier. And the second tier is $5. And that gets you Davey Mac's Tales of the Q&A, where I take questions. It's like a spin-off show. 2 tiers, choose whichever one works best for you. Not very expensive, $2.50 or $5. And that'll do it. The Yaddle Chattel. One quick plug. I decided to put the Yaddle Chattel, the East Side Dave Star Wars Spectacular. Decided to put that, first of all, the entire video on X, so you can watch that in its entirety if you missed it. And if you're just a true psychopath who likes listening to things rather than watching video, I did put that as a fun, Happy New Year's gift on the Yaddle Chattel podcast feed. That's my Star Wars podcast, the Eastside Dave Star Wars Spectacular, starring me, Roy Harder, Flutzy, Anthony Cumia, Big A, Bobo. I mean, Big A and Bobo should have both been nominated for Academy Awards. Big A played Grand Moff Tarkin and Bobo played R2-D2. This was the first, episode 4 of New Hope, Star Wars.
Yeah. Gavin Dixon, Gavin McGinnis,
and
Pat Dixon. Yeah, we had an all-star crew.
All-star crew. So go check that out. But if you want to hear it only, or how about this? If you want maybe you got one of those Bluetooth speakers and you want awesome stereo, now you can play it on the podcast feed.
That's right.
You watch it on the YouTube on mute. You got yourself some surround sound going. That could be fun too. So check out all the stuff. Yes.
You could hear the live musical broadcast from myself and Dogs in a Pile guitarist Brian Murray, who was also
Brian Murray. His band Dogs in a Pile is actually in a legit rock band. They have been up and coming for the past couple of years. Now they're just straight up certifiable big time rock band with young guys, no older than, I don't know what, Roy, 24?
24, I think, is the highest age. Yeah, young guys. Yeah.
These guys are awesome. Dogs in a Pile. Brian Murray, their brilliant guitarist, is one of the people in the special, in the Star Wars special. So go check it out. You want something nice and simple, just subscribe to youtube.com/EastsideDaveTV. Everything I do ultimately winds up there. So share that YouTube channel and that'll do it. Happy New Year. You know what? I think 2026 is going to be good. It's going to be good for us. I want it to be good for you, the Dave Pound, the loyal Eastside Davidians out there. I want it to be great for you. So a Happy New Year. And for Roy Harder, Bobby Tamburo, I'm Eastside Dave McDonald. Good night, everybody.